It was a quiet Saturday afternoon in a small Georgia town, the kind of day when even the air seemed to rest. Inside a little cafe by the corner of Main Street, you could hear the hum of soft jazz and the gentle clinking of coffee cups. Henry Williams sat by the window, reading his newspaper, the same way he had for years. A retired history teacher, calm, polite, and deeply respected in the neighborhood. He enjoyed the rhythm of his routine, peaceful mornings, familiar faces, but sometimes peace has a way of being tested. And that test came suddenly. A woman's voice broke the air, harsh and cutting. "Go back to Africa," she shouted. The cafe froze. Every sound stopped. Forks hung midair. A single sentence had turned the room to stone. Henry slowly lowered his paper. He didn't react. Not yet. He'd heard words like that before. Decades ago, when the world was supposed to change for the better. Yet here they were again. The woman stood near the counter, pointing toward him, her voice shaking with anger. "You people think you belong here," she said. "You don't." For a moment, no one breathed. Then a man pulled out his phone, quietly recording. And in that silence, Henry rose from his seat. He didn't rush. Every movement was calm, almost graceful. You could feel the tension tightening like a rope. Then he looked straight at her and said softly, "Ma'am, you want me to go back to Africa?" A ripple ran through the crowd. His voice was steady, his eyes kind. "My great-grandfather was born right here in Georgia," he said. "My grandfather fought for this country in World War II. My father marched for civil rights so that I could sit at this very table without fear. And now, you're telling me to go back." The woman's face reddened. "That doesn't change what you are," she said bitterly. Henry smiled faintly. "It changes everything," he replied, "because what I am is American." The room was silent, the kind of silence that has weight. The crowd shifted, some glancing down, others watching, wide-eyed. Then Henry took a slow step forward. "Do you know what's strange?" he said. "You told me to go back to Africa, but my ancestors were brought here against their will. They built this country's homes, farms, roads, everything you see around you. They never got the chance to go anywhere." A whisper moved through the cafe. The man filming swallowed hard. Henry's voice grew firmer, not louder, just deeper. "Maybe instead of sending me back, you should thank the people who built the ground you're standing on. Because this cafe, this town, this country, it's ours. Together." And then he paused, just long enough for the silence to sink in. Some truths don't need shouting. They only need to be spoken once. The woman's anger faltered. Her hands trembled slightly. "You don't understand," she began. "No," Henry interrupted softly. "I understand too well." He looked around the room, not just at her, but at everyone watching. "We've come so far," he said. "Yet moments like this remind us how fragile progress can be. But I won't let hate write our story again. Not mine, not yours, not anyone's." Someone started clapping, quiet at first, then louder. Another joined in, then another. Soon, the cafe was filled with applause. The woman's eyes darted around. She stepped back, her voice cracking. "You think you won something?" Henry shook his head gently. "This isn't about winning," he said. "It's about waking up." She turned and walked out. The door closed softly behind her. For a long moment, no one spoke. Then the young waitress came over, tears in her eyes. "Sir," she said. "That was beautiful." Henry smiled. "No," he said quietly. "That was necessary." He sat back down, folded his newspaper, and looked outside. The world looked the same. Cars passing, sunlight glinting off the windows. But something in the air had changed. Maybe strength isn't about how loud we shout, but how deeply we stand. That night, the video spread across the internet. Millions watched, some angry, some inspired. The headline read, "Racist Confrontation Ends in Powerful Lesson." Henry didn't seek fame. He hadn't even known it was filmed. But when his grandson showed him the video days later, he just smiled. "If even one person thinks before they speak next time," he said, "that's enough." Later that evening, As the sun sank over the Georgia horizon, Henry stood on his porch, the same porch his father once built. He looked at the sky, and his voice softened. "People forget," he murmured. "We're all just trying to belong somewhere." And maybe that was the lesson the woman never understood. Belonging doesn't come from color, or from blood, or from where your ancestors were born. It comes from kindness, from standing tall when hate tries to make you small. The camera fades. The story ends not with anger, but peace. And somewhere in that silence, his calm voice seems to echo. You can't send someone back when they've always belonged.